Greetings and salutations, and you should see the other guy. I return for yet another ramble, this time on the rather distasteful recent events that have come from fandoms. Fandoms are well and fine when they maintain the boundaries, but just like the double-edged sword, they have their good points and their bloody bad points. And unfortunately, recently on the internet I just cannot seem to escape not just the bad points, but the bloody shitty side of it. I have several examples to present to you. First up is the My Little Pony cartoon, the new one, relating an auto character called Derpy. This is only going on second-hand information, but when one particular character first appeared in the background, it was with an animation area that showed their eyes were unaligned, and all thanks to good old 4chan, this character became known as Derpy. Still, ongoing with what has been said, this character got some lines, gone from being a background character to a foreground character as such. Good? Could have been, but it wasn't from what I heard. They have been shown as a stereotyped handicapped character and as a running bloody joke. Now, what are those on DeviantArt showing support for this character? Some saying they aren't offended, one person even remarking they themselves are handicapped and they aren't offended by this character, how they're portrayed. I'm sorry, but this is a grand scheme of things where you're just one tiny voice in this. From what I heard, this show is known for not talking down to its audience, and yet we have a character like this. A running gag, of all things. We have a character reduced to a running gag, and judging by the increased online activity around this one, I am getting the impression that this character is even being corrected, erased, or something else. I am sorry people who object to the change, if it's coming. Just because you aren't offended by this, doesn't mean others are. And it's also very disappointing that the writers of this show have treated this character this way, labelled by a notorious forum that gave us that accursed brony label, and condemned this character to this fate. Not on, people. Not on! BioWare unfortunately has had some more troubled times with its own fandom. We start off with Star Wars The Old Republic, BioWare's first jump into the MMO market. I learned this about a month or so ago, that a patch was coming that was meant to add in several features, one of which was same-sex relationships. And it didn't happen. It was delayed. Why? Because people were protesting against it. So let me get this straight. In a game where you can kill, murder, maim and torture people, what is it that people are objecting to the most? Gay relationships? Plus, this is merely an option that these people are protesting against, while they may never use it themselves. So what is the big deal? You're denying it for people who do want this option. What is really disappointing is that this happened and was allowed to happen. But it's understandable why, on some level, it was allowed to happen. The Old Republic is still a new MMO on the market, and it has a subscription-based system working for it. And unfortunately, if the vocal protesters were large enough in number, they couldn't afford to lose the numbers. They had to maintain some standards before they can actually do anything. They must have the foundry so this thing can keep on running. So unfortunately, this is both a shame and disappointing that this happened. Hopefully, these patches will come in to give people what they want, not the naysayers who believe gamers are white, straight males. I'm sorry, they're not. There are many different types of people out there, many of them gamers of varying degrees. From passing fanciers to downright hardcore, we must supply something to all of them so that each gets something out of it. Else, things are not going to expand and develop. Oh hell, this one. Yet again we are returning to the loudest and most pathetic section of BioWare's fandom, of the remarks of its much valued writer, Jennifer Hipper? I don't know how to pronounce that surname. Hurtful remarks have been made towards her and Dragon Age 2. This vile writer has been criticised over her work and attacked both online, even forcing her to shut down her own Twitter, and even received threats offline. Yes, real world, she has been threatened. This is disgusting. Under BioWare Confessions Tumblr, one confession remarked how fangirls were destroying the series, putting up a picture of this writer. I'm sorry, well, I agree. Fangirls are destroying the series. It is the fangirls and fanboys of the fandom. Jennifer is a valuable member of the crew. They once have her on if they didn't think she was doing a good enough job. Now, let's just look at what Jennifer has actually written for BioWare, shall we? We go to the original Dragon Age Origins. She has been referred to as Queen of the Dwarfs because she not only wrote both the Dwarf Commoner Origin, but also the Anvil of the Void, and responsible for most of the Dwarven NPCs in Orzammar. May I add that I heard that at least one fan of the series has said the Dwarven Commoner Origin has been their favourite. So, is this the work of someone who's going to destroy the series? Somehow I don't think so. Since they've been there since the very beginning. Dragon Age 2, she's responsible for turning Anders from a passive mage on the run to someone who is now proactive in the plight of mages and in their surroundings working as a medic, helping the refugees. Albeit this change happened because of Justice's cohabitation, as we put it. Now, for all those remarking about the dropped humour, do remember humour is a common defence mechanism used to protect oneself. Of course, being a mage on the run, he would need to protect himself. And for the time he was in Awakenings, in comparison to DA2, it's not that long. Could he really drop his defence around the Warden Commander, who could turn him over at any bloody moment? Jennifer has also worked upon Bethany, Lalandra, Cullen and Sebastian Vale, plus one of her whose name I'm not too sure how to pronounce. The major thing is she mostly wrote the Legacy downloadable content. Legacy. The one piece of DLC that had even several naysayers who liked it even though they disliked Dragon Age 2. Yeah. She has also been writing characters for Star Wars The Old Republic, but the wiki which I've been drawing my information from does not say who she's written, so I can't say anything more there. This writer has given the DA series many great moments, but some pathetic, self-entitled gibber monkeys, thank you Lord I for the use of that, would rather see a character remain stagnant and unchanging, and get seriously overhand over an stated opinion. Not everyone is a die-hard gamer. Some people play merely for the story, to envelop themselves in the world that was carefully crafted. Jennifer is a writer, but I suspect hers is not the final say on what goes in and how it's handled. It most certainly isn't. There have to be supervisors, different layers of development. But it's frankly downright bloody disgusting at how she's been treated, and no one has the right to do this. There is no right for this. So for these examples that have crossed the line, what did I have to say? I shall take an example from Total Biscuit, who said about his own fanbase, who thanks to them, he's on stress medication. Find yourself a beanbag, sit yourself down, and chill. You are only making the fandom look bad, and if you treat things in a calmer or more relaxed manner, all the better. And if you fail to do that, find yourself a nice big beanbag, so even if you fail to chill while you're sitting down in it, chances are it will eat you and you cannot escape to reach the keyboard to spread your stupid hate. Do not drag the fandom down like this. You're only going to make things worse. And that is all for now. So, this is the Raven, signing out. Peace out, you all.